All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Well, let's get hobbying. We're going to continue working on this bad boy. We'll drop down to the paint cam. Let's have some hobby chat, and yeah, let us know what hobby you're all working on. So, camera. We'll flick the cameras over. Done. Morning, Soren. Nice to see you there, mate. I'm going to see whether this changes anything. There we go. That's much nicer. Before the crack of dawn. Yeah, it would be pretty early over there, man. So let's get cracking onto this then. Hope you're doing well, mate. Why are you up so early? So I'm going to be working on my gargan. We'll start by getting some color onto his pants. I've got this cool little Beast of Chaos Force. Trying to get through on all these hobby streams, so small brush for this. Oh, nice. I do have a bunch of Nighthaunt that I've got to work on now because I picked up a ton of Mortal Realms. In Australia, they're like $6 each for the first set, so yeah, I picked some of them up. So I'm going to have a Nighthaunt army soon. I've always wanted to paint Nighthaunt. It's always been one of those armies that like, umming and ahhing whether I go and get into it. But like being able to buy 100 chain rasp for $60, like, I mean, no, that was the ability to do it was just like based on that. So yeah, played a game today. I played against some Gloomspite with my Seeds of Sigmar, my pirates, of course. Another fun game. Really enjoying having gone back and playing my pirates again. So you can expect to see a ton of them coming up on the channel soon. We've already got the one battle report up with the pirates. It's 2,500 points versus my mate David's Ogres. And I played a friend Ash again. He bought his Gloomspite last time. Any tips for hair? Painting hair. So generally I find picking a base color, putting a wash down, that'll pick your recesses, and then picking a lighter color on top, and that'll cover your hair. So let's see if I can find an example of where I've got a model with hair behind me. Trying to find a model with hair behind me. Where is one of them that's got hair? Well, we'll use the this dwarf here as an example when it wants to focus. So you can see on the beard there what I've done. Focus. When it wants to focus. Come on. P478. Awesome. Love to hear. Anyway, that's not showing. But for painting hair, generally what I do is very similar actually to what I've done on the cloth on this guy. So you put down your base color, wash it all over, and then you can pick out, because hair generally, especially Games Workshop hair, is generally really stringy, and like there's lots of texture into it. So I just pick out all the layers of texture with a brighter color. You can probably pick out a different brighter color on top of that, and that'll allow you to just get the colors that you want. which is cool. So give me a sec. I'm just. So like a good blonde one I use all the time, which I actually used on those Slayers and lots of my Wood Elf stuff, is generally Xandri Dust, wash with Reikland Flesh Shade, and then highlight with Screaming Skull. That's a really great like dirty blonde hair color, I find anyway. Colored hair, can't say I have much value to say on that. Being colored by like red green is not my easiest thing to pick apart. And thanks, Soren. P478, lovely to see you there, though, mate. I'm glad the video helped. That Thunderstruck Brotherhood set, it's great. I really do love it. Especially now with Liberators and drops in points, like I think it's just got more and more value to it, which is cool. And finally, starting to stream on Twitter now, which is cool. I'm finally on StreamYard allows you to stream to Twitter, so the last thing to really start streaming to is Insta, but unfortunately we can't. StreamYard Insta doesn't like people streaming on it, not using the Instagram stream, so it's very like singular. So, like to do Insta, I've got to do an entirely different stream. So at that point, it's just bug you Insta, which is sad because I've got a decent amount of following on there. But P-Force, yeah, definitely, it's great. I mean, even here in Australia, where people say it's a lot worse in Australia than what it is, honestly, because our wages here are pretty high, like compared to most other places in the world. Like we do get paid pretty well. I don't know many other countries like. Bathed in Bile, nice to see you there. Should have another battle report up soon. I got to play Mr. Bathed in Bile, who's commenting on YouTube the other day. Well, today actually. He brought his Gloomspike Gits and I played Cities of Sigma. We won't reveal anything more than that. The battle report should hopefully be up tonight or tomorrow morning, which is cool. But yeah, like I said, like Warhammer's not as expensive as it seems. What a lot of people say, because like we do get paid a pretty penny here in Australia. I mean, I'm a chef, and I on some days earn $50 an hour. But we've got pretty good wages from what I understand. Knowing people around the world in my same profession, I generally get paid more than most of my friends around the world in my profession. So yeah, we're just working on the pants here. It's not showing up. Really got to invest in some better cameras for the paint cam. There's a better lighting. Maybe I'll start a GoFundMe to get some better stuff, so these painting streams can be a lot better than what they can be. Because yeah, it would be great to like just have the ability to show off the painting a little bit more. I mean, that's me working a Sunday or a late night, but still, like, my average wage is like 30, like an hour for like a chef, and I'm just working at a cafe. I'm not working anywhere fancy. So when people complain about Australian prices, like I know most GW employees here are pretty well paid. Like even at like you look at like GW employees, they're fairly well paid over here. Like a general like store manager is buying a house off their GW salary. It's pretty good. But soon I should have someone joining me on hobby streams soon. One of my good mates is going to start jumping on the hobby streams with me. Mr. Ideas, or he'll either be Ideas Does Cosplay or Ideas Does Painting. You might know him. He's got some really cool cosplay stuff up. If you're into that, definitely go check out Ideas, Ideaeus. If you're into that sort of stuff, definitely go check him out. But he'll be joining on painting streams soon, which is cool. He's one of my good mates. Was one of my groomsmen at the wedding. So yeah, if you're into cosplay, definitely go give him a check. Yeah, piles of unpainted stuff, P478. Welcome to my life, buddy. I have mountains and mountains of unpainted minis. But anyway, people in the chat, what do people think of all the reveals this past week? We've had a ton of reveals. What are people's thoughts on them all? People excited? Do they want something else? Were they expecting someone else? Like, what are people feeling on all the reveals? Doesn't matter what game system. I think there was a lot of cool stuff released personally. For everything, I liked a lot of minis that were released this weekend. Even the 30k stuff, like I thought those Night Lord Terminators were absolutely amazing. But yeah, so we're slowly just painting up all his trousers. I know my lighting is terrible. Got to figure out some way to fix this. Let's see, does this help? It doesn't really do much. Oh well, I tried. I'll buy those. I'll buy the Realm's Edge books. I mean, I collect that sort of stuff. I've got all the Realm Gate War books behind me. I've got End Times over there. Like, I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff. We all know that I am completely narrative before anything else. So they're my sort of release. I understand they're not for everyone. No, they don't have to be. See, I don't care because I still play. Transitional rulebooks are only transitional if you let them be transitional. Because I'll keep using them. I don't know, like, will it lead to third? Like, we're not sure. We're assuming a whole bunch of things. There certainly won't be the shake-up in AOS like there was with 40k. Like, I don't think we're going to have as drastic a rules change as they did from 8th to 9th. So there's that to think of, like, I guess, considering it all. Yeah, and that's fine. Like I always say, not everyone has to buy everything GW release. And not everything is for everyone. Like, if everything was for everyone, we'd all be painting the same models in the same army. I did state, though, I reckon one of the biggest things why I'm seeing like a lot of feel bads is because a lot of people didn't get things for their army. And I think like the issue with AOS compared to 40k, I said this on my like little reveal thing. Excuse the cracking if you hear I'm opening an energy drink to get you through. Powered by Monster Energy tonight. Please, Monster, sponsor my channel and send me free Monster. They do not do any of that. Anyway, yeah, I said, like, with AOS, because the factions are so massively different, we don't really have like the crossover thing where 40k you've got, if you release a Space Marine, you instantly appeal to like 50% at least of your player base, because you have, well, at the moment you have codexes for Space Marines, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and then even Death Watch on top of that. Not to mention, like, if it's like tanks and stuff, there's potential for Grey Knights to get it. And it's Space Marines, so you can ally in with Imperial Guard, Adeptus Sororitas, Mechanicum, and all that sort of stuff. So when you release Space Marines in 40k, you've got, like, while a lot of people go, Space Marines again, it's like, it is, like, a lot of people are actually happy when you do Space Marines, because you can hit, like, notes and... But with AOS, there is no army. Not even Stormcast do that. Because of how the allies work in AOS, you can't take like heaps of allies like you can, well, could in 40k. And it just doesn't have that broad appeal that, say, a Space Marine release does. No army in AOS can do that. So when you have releases, they're very specific and they're targeting the army's audience. And so you're going to have these amounts of people where they just go, oh, well, I got nothing that reveal, despite there being like 6 things revealed. And I guess the issue with the current reveal that they just did is that it was all Slaanesh, all Elf. Like, there were 3 factions over 3 games. It's like, there was Slaanesh, there was Elf, there was Daughters of Cain, and there was Lumineth. I mean, guess Slaves to Darkness if you count, but really, it really wasn't. Like, we know the people that are buying that box set and who that's for. But yeah, I think that was like the issue with the reveals, is that it was all very samey. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, everything revealed was cool, but it was all centered around 1 or 2 factions predominantly. And that's the reason you're getting all these people with feel bads, because they got nothing, because a whole bunch of people got nothing. And that just happens. Like, that's just going to happen in AOS, where we've got these wide, varied factions. But we're going to go... Yeah, there was a lot of dots. Like, if you're a Daughters of Cain player, you absolutely love that reveal. Even if you're a Lumineth player, you got something, you're happy. And it's Slaanesh, you got stuff. Like, you're happy. If you're one of those 3 armies, okay, maybe you're happy. And if you're a Warcraft fan, I guess you're a Warcraft fan, you got an Underworlds, because new things for your game as general. But like AOS wise, and like the main game AOS, there was Daughters of Cain fans happy, and I saw some Slaanesh fans, because Slaanesh fans wanted a lot more than what they got. But yeah. But yeah, agreed. Basically, like those Night Lords were just whole damn. Yeah, really like them quite a lot. Yeah, like that's the thing with Slanesh players. Like they want something that they didn't get it. It reminds me of the Lisbon thing. Like, and I completely understand wanting it, and I don't think it's not wrong to want it. I mean, in my things I'd like to see for Slanesh, that is the most recurring theme. But now that we've got everyone with books and stuff like that, we're at that point where we're going to start seeing new stuff. So it is only a matter of time, I'm sure, before Slanesh gets some Immortal stuff coming out. I do like the Lord of Pain, though. He's a cool model, and like this is going to be the start to a proper Slanesh army to me, because one of those few ones I don't have a lot of. So I'll be expanding my Slanesh and making a full Slanesh force, which is cool. Yeah, I think that's the thing with Slanesh. Like, they just don't have the options to have a lot of mortals. But it's a completely fine one, man. Like all the other, I was disappointed with Nurgle when, what was I reading? I was reading Plague Garden, and they were talking about archers and spearmen. And yep, this is really live right now. Like when Nurgle got released, I was a little bit disappointed because like I'd read Plague Garden, and they talk about spearmen and archers for Nurgle, and I was just so excited to potentially see them like Nurgle, and they didn't get any mortals, and so for me Nurgle's the other one because I haven't got mortals outside of like Black Kings. I'm like, well, I get Black Kings are cool. They're always talked about as like this elite unit in Nurgle. They're not like the mainline battle. These are like the Knights of Nurgle. Slanesh perverts, 10 weird dudes. Yeah, maybe P-Force. Maybe. I think like Slanesh for me, I would like to see like some very like sleek and elegant looking bladesmen, because I think people like, and it really showed they went down that route with some things. But they went a more grotesque route with the Interactress. They went more the weird and odd route with the Fiends. But my favorite Slanesh model was always Sigvold, and I liked the idea of like this sleek and elegant, like perfectionist blade. It reminds me of like stories like you read about like Half Fulgrim. Yeah, see, I don't want the like I guess the Mad Max Rider army. I want like sleek and elegant. You know which one looks Slanesh to me out of all the Warcry warbands that I think Slanesh is in a very different form? What are they? The ones from the Realm of Light, Cypher Lords, like that sort of aesthetic. Like take away some of the Zinchian parts of them, obviously, that they've got there, but like bladesmen, perfectionists, like master bladesmen. Show me excess in a different way than just the excess in pleasure and all that. Like the excess of one can be like in so many different ways. They're actually with Slanesh. There was a really cool one. There was a really cool campaign in the Warhammer Fantasy RPG 3rd edition that got released by Fantasy Flight Games 3rd edition. And so what was cool about that is the actual Slanesh. So you were trying to discover this chaos cult within the town, and they were Slanesh worshippers. The actual cult in the town, like how they look, they're actually like big, overweight, like gigantic, fat people. And the idea was their excess was they used to have these feasts and feast on like human flesh and all these exquisite, like really, really messed up stuff. We'll go into that. Like we won't go into any more on how messed up it was, but some really messed up stuff they used to feast on and eat. and like used to indulge in eating, and that was their excess, and so they became these big, humongous, grotesque, overweight like blobs. And I thought that was such a cool thing, because I'm like, this is someone taking excess and looking at it in a very different way that people normally don't look at excess, or especially Slanesh, because at our hearts we're all a bunch of teenagers, and we all only think of sex, drugs, and rock and roll when we think of that sort of stuff. And so it was like just a really cool thing. I'm like, this is really cool to see excess in a very different way, not what you'd expect. I'm like, but this is still so Slanesh. I'm like, it's showing what excess is. And like, if you showed a picture and didn't explain, you would have thought they were like Nurgle guys, but there was no like bubos. They're like, they were healthy and jolly fat men. And they just indulged in food. It was really, really cool to have that as a prize of course. I mean, that literally is Sigvold. Sigvold to me is literally Prince Charming. Prince Charming is the perfect example of a Slanesh character. Like, that dude is so well. So Prince Charming from Shrek. That is Slanesh perfect. Like, that is a perfect Slanesh character, because his excess is like, I'm beautiful, I'm great, I'm all this. Yep, completely agree. I'm like, lust is like, but like, yeah, excess can be so many things. And yeah, gluttony. Like, I think Slanesh more than any of them, Slanesh's whole thing should be like, look at the 7 deadly sins. And now, I'm not religious in any way, so trying to remember them all is hard for me. So what is it? Lust, greed, gluttony, pride, envy. I'm trying to remember them all. I can't remember them all. Sorry. Wrath. Yep. Wrath. And you know how I'm remembering these? I'm remembering them all from Full Metal Alchemist. So yeah, lust, greed, gluttony, pride, wrath, envy. I can't remember the other one. There's one more I'm missing. But either way, like, all of those could be really cool aspects of Slanesh used correctly. So now we're going to go for some Administratum Grey. Whoop. Highlighted his pants up, or laid his pants, so now Sloth is the one I'm forgetting. But Sloth can still, like, Sloth, I guess, was still part of the Slanesh story that I was reading. So, sloth, greed, envy, pride, lust, wrath, next gluttony. Thank you very much. Trying to remember them all. But yeah, like, I think they can all be like done in excess, and they can all have a cool aspect to do with Slanesh. I do think Slanesh is like one of the most interesting. Yeah, classically Sloth is, yeah, okay. Fair enough, Soren. I guess there's very, like, what we consider Sloth now is very different, I guess. Like, Sloth is generally considered laziness, I would say. Yeah, you know, she just said, just saw your comment there as I was saying it. So I'm just layering up my Gargant Swans here. Really do. Yep. Soren coming through with the facts and teaching us all something today. Classically, sloth is the lack of self-love. It's not what we think of as lazy, how it is thought of today. I do love that, though, how like things change over time with words and stuff and meanings and all that sort of stuff. Ah, okay, cool. Like I said, I am not religious, so I am not very well versed in biblical or scripture study, and I won't pretend to be. But cool. I like knowing things. So cool. I appreciate the information and knowledge there, Soren. All knowledge is good knowledge. Anyway, onto a lighter subject. Back to Slaanesh, I guess. We'll take it off that. Yeah, I think that's the reason a lot of people were upset with the Slaanesh, is just because they just want that little bit more. I mean, for me, all I want to see now is Kurnothi army in full. I'm currently painting up the Kurnothi warband. They're not getting painted up now because I'm actually recording a full video of me painting them start to finish. I want to see how I go with putting this video together. So I'm recording me painting it. I'm going to do like a fast through and then talk through what I do. Just give some ideas and thoughts about how I thought the models were. Did I like the models? Did I like painting them? And my general thoughts and all that stuff on them. But yeah, cute. Just got his fingernails to paint. And then we'll layer up that stone. And yeah, if you are joining us, let us know what hobby you're working on, what you've been doing hobby-wise over the past week. This is our weekly work in progress Wednesday hobby hangout. These happen roughly the same time every Wednesday. People are always welcome to come chat. We're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. So things coming along nice. So once I've got this guy done, I've got 2 shamans to paint up, and then 2 Tuscarora chariots, which today I learned they're on smaller bases. So I need to get some bases for them. I learned they're only on the 105mm bases for the Tuscarora chariots, which is interesting. And then I've got Grashnaks to spoilers, but I'll do them up as part of my painting Underworlds, because I'm going to be painting all the Underworlds warbands and then doing videos on painting all of them. And talk about them all. So that'll be fun. Yeah, that's just cool little 1,000 points of basic house. I also received some models today. I'll show them off on the screen. These are from a company called Bricks Minis. They're a couple of 3D printed miniatures. So I got this cool mermaid lady. She's pretty cool. Mermaid siren sort of thing. She's really cool. So no idea what I use her for. Wife likes those the model, so picked her up. And I've got this lady here as well. She's got like a book with some magic and all that. She's got some cool armor and plate. I think she'll make a cool Chaos Sorcerer model. So we'll paint her up. She's an elf, but cool Chaos Sorcerer. So that's what we'll use her as. I'll do painting videos up for them. But that's from Bricks Minis, BRIX. Alrighty, let's get some screaming skull. Work on his teeth. Pick out all his teeth here. That's them done. And next up, we'll dry brush this wood. Just double check what color my dry brush is supposed to be. Sorry, just trying to get to my painting guide that I've got done. When it wants to open. Here we are. XV88 is the color I need next. XV88, cool. Right. So dry brush this onto the wood. So we do XV88, and then we'll finish off the wood. So that'll be the last color for the wood. I'm going to start working on picking out some of these other parts of the sort of weapon, the club here he's got. So just work it into the bristles and start dry brushing. Which is cool. So we're just dry brushing on some XV88. So this dude here was a bit of a rescue job, so he's missing a few of the blades poking through on the other side, but you know, not really an issue when it's a giant's club. Sure, stuff's bound to get broken. So now we'll start picking out some metals. So he's got a decent amount of metal on him. So I have my lead belcher somewhere. Where is my new pot of lead belcher gone? There it is. Inside of my desk. No, that's wire flash. Give me 1 sec. I reckon I'll put my new pot of lead belcher over there somewhere. Where did I put that new pot of lead belcher? Where did I put the 2 spray cans? Okay. This is it. New pot of lead belcher. Yeah, this is the new one. So yeah. But yeah, completely going all in on Underworlds now. Thank you to those who are liking the video over on Facebook. It's awesome to see it. Don't forget, whatever platform you're on, like, follow, and stuff like that is always welcome. So I'm just starting to put some lead belcher down. Pick out any gold bits, we'll do that after, but we'll just get the lead belcher down to start with. Yeah, so get some lead belcher there, and then I believe he's got a bunch of shields on his arm over here that need lead belcher. Which is pretty cool. He's got some nice shields on his arm. Yeah, so anyone in the chat play Underworlds at all? Because I'm looking to start to learn the game. Looks like some fun, something different. Alrighty, so that's lead belcher down. So while we're waiting for that, let's start picking out some scales. So we've got these scales on his arm. I wonder what to do with them. Did I have a plan down in my paint? Yeah, as agreed back from Bile, definitely we'll be hoping to get some games in together, mate. So a sec, just looking for something I had planned for scales. Alrighty, so we're going to go for Incubi Darkness. I didn't grab these paints out like an update, so let's see if I can find the colours I want. Incubi Darkness, cool. I've got the first colour I need. So definitely some Incubi Darkness going down. So realizing I can actually get some red cloth on his arms here, so we'll be doing that next. If you don't want to do grease and leather as well, because all these strappings will be leather, so we'll split up that colour there. So we're getting some corn red into this model, so we'll pop it on his arms. He's got like these bits of cloth that are underneath his grooves here that are completely missed, so yeah, definitely need that coffee in the mornings, man. It's just the tiniest bit of red at like the end, because most of it is strappings, so it's just the tiniest bit of red, but it'll just make it that little bit better. But yeah, so we're getting there with this dude. Now we can start. Probably just missed a little bit of ink by there. Now what I'm going to do is just going to go through all his like stitchings in his pants. I'm going to pick them out with Screamy Skull. Wait for those colours to dry. Just gives a little bit of detail to his pants and all that stuff. So after this, for the Beastman Bathing Bio, I've got 2 chariots and 2 shamans, and then I've got so that'll be the main Beastman army done. I've then got the Herdstone I need to do, which isn't built yet, so that needs to get done. And I've also got Grashnax's spoilers, which will be getting done, but they'll be done when I go through my Warcry stuff. So yeah, next time we play, I hopefully should have this army finished. So you might be able to play against some Beast of Chaos next time. You come around for a game. Keep changing it up on you. Beast of Chaos are great, man. I've enjoyed painting these guys so much. They've been one of the funnest things I've painted in a long, long time. There's just some great models in the range. They've got the good thing about Beast of Chaos is there's such a wide and varied range. I don't think you could ever get bored of painting this army because you can just swap out to something so utterly different all the time. I don't think there's another range that does it quite like this. I mean, Cities is all pretty samey, to be fair, because it's just elf, dwarf, and human in armor. Yes, there's different races, but they're all in armor, and so it's all very similar. While with Beast of Chaos, you've got the generic Beastman. You could go paint a Gargant, who is different. He's a much bigger model. You've got proper monsters, so things like the Cockatrice and stuff like that. You could then go paint Dragon Ogres, which is cool. You're painting scales and all that sort of stuff. Got Minotaurs, which are nice large infantry. Yeah, there's just so much to paint and so much stuff that's varied. Hey man, there's no shame if someone can't keep up with the amount I paint. I've painted a ton this year. We're probably getting close to the 700 model mark. When I was really going during lockdown, I was really going. Don't know if I'm going to get to that 1,000, but we're going to make a decent stab at it. Dragon Ogres are sweet. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, if you are not painting as much as me, do not feel bad. I have painted a lot this year. Terrain alone, I painted over 100 pieces of terrain. So yeah. I did a photo up of everything I'd done at the halfway point of the year. That was a lot. It filled up my 6x4 almost. Filled up probably a 4x4. By the end of the year, I'll probably have a 6x4 filled up because the Beastman Army hasn't even been counted yet, so that's a good 100 models almost. Probably not 100. Probably close to like 60 or 70. What else have I painted this half of the year? The Fire Slayers as well. They'll be done. I'll probably have my Lumineth done as well. Probably start on some sketch for FTs, and I'll have most of Warcraft, most of the Shadespire stuff done, hopefully. So I will definitely do a video at the end of the year showing the hobby progress I've made this year. So yeah, this is without a doubt my most productive year of hobby. So some Racking Flesh Shade. This is going onto the scales. Then what else was I going to? Metals, that's right. So as always, none oil on metal. Good old Noon oil. And yeah. Of course, I've missed a bit. Blade there. Metal all washed. Pick out his eyes. Now we'll do some work on that stone he's holding. With some Dawnstone. We're probably actually going to dry brush this up. completely didn't wash my X88 off that. So get a different dry brush going. Almost stuffed that up. Tiniest bit of administrative grey to finish. That's starting to be done by the glow. So now we're just going to glow to go, and we're probably going to be done. Well, at least everything we can do, and that'll probably be the end of the stream. And so just check the glow. So it's circuit green. No worries, mate. I have absolutely no idea how to say your name, mate. I don't even want to attempt it and get it utterly wrong. But thank you very much. I'll post some photos up of what I've done on Instagram, so you can go find Sinful Game. Sherney? Or is it Cherney? Is it Chert or Shirt? I'm going to go with it's Volk. We can go with Volk because that I don't think I'm going to get wrong. I really apologize if I'm getting wrong and butchering your name. But what Volk, I think I can hit, and I think I'm getting that right. So we'll go with that. Oh, so Chernyi Volk. Chernyi Volk. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, mate. Do I have Blue Horror to finish this? I think I do have the color somewhere. It's really, really bright blue. Chart like that. Pretty sure that's an edge paint. There we go, blue horror. Got it. Yes, I have the last paint I need just to finish this glow before we go. Not much change, honestly, Soren. Not much change. I think AOS is in a good spot. I don't think there's any core fundamental rules that need to go away. I think maybe just some clarification on some things that are already in the game, like let's tidy up activation walls and just make always strikes first a universal thing. So if you get always strikes first, you go first, and everything with always strikes first strikes at the same time. That'd probably be my change. But yeah, so we're going to leave the Gargant here for now. I'm going to head off. Definitely no, Soren. No, I do not want those coherency rules brought into AOS. AOS is about spreading out and about board control and all that sort of thing. Board control tricks should not be limited in AOS. Plus lines of troops and that allow more models to get into fight. We're trying to get models into fights in AOS, not make big blobs and have big blobs disappear, because that's what will happen in AOS if those coherency rules are brought in. Do not want to see that. Not something I want to see at all. I don't want to see blobs. At that point, let's move back to movement trays. What's the point? Just move back to square bases and be blobs of troops. Anyway, that's enough from me, everyone. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. I'll see you all again real soon. Ciao for now.